So I did a bunch of like stuff about this on the last stream about Nuno Betancourt was on Rick Beato's podcast, and I don't know how much of it you saw already, but he talked about so much stuff, and it was like a 2-hour interview, and I watched the whole thing. I was like, wow, this is amazing, because he talked about like writing songs and like the demo thing. But one of the things I didn't really touch on that much, and I'm just going to play like a little clip of it, is the solo he did in that song Rise. Have you seen it?
No.
So Rick Beato, so it's crazy how the internet works now, right? Like Extreme put this record out, and they kind of, it went viral because of Nuno's guitar solo.
Oh.
And then Rick Beato, he has like a music channel that's so Rick is like, he's so great because he's obviously someone who like knows music inside and out, and not only the music side of things, like he can pick up a guitar and like play chords for you and stuff, but he talks a lot about the business side of things. He has this really cool, just, it's like a music nerd show. And he has all kinds he had like Steve Lukather from Toto a couple weeks ago. He had Billy Corgan on there. He had like members of Soundgarden and Nirvana, like this round table with them. It's so like, I can't recommend his. I mean, people know who he is, but what was funny was Nuno comes on and he starts out going, "Yo, I'm so pissed off, Rick, because you're more famous than I am." And he's like, and no one cared about my song until like they saw it on your show. And then everyone's called me like, "Yo, I saw your solo on Rick Beato."
Yeah. That's funny.
So check this out. Anyway, that's
what year is that? Is that the new one?
It just came out.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Like a week or so ago.
Oh, okay.
So they have a new album called 6, and I listened to the whole thing the other night. I didn't realize too that Nuno played guitar for Rihanna.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. So it's funny too, because I know a guy there's like a friend of a friend who knows Nuno really well, and he used to talk about him all the time, like maybe 10 years ago. And every time he would bring him up, like I was like, fuck yeah, Nuno. Everyone else is like, who fucking cares about Nuno? Like, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I have like a background in guitar and I know like what a shredder he is, I'd be like, oh, you know Nuno? Wow, like that's big. Like, and it made me realize the only reason I brought all this up is the new Extreme record. I listened to it, and I there's a couple songs that I think are fantastic, and they kind of mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me go back and listen to their older stuff. And man, I forgot that album, their third album, Extreme 3 Sides to Every Story. That is such a great album, man.
Yeah.
There's so much good. There's a song called Peacemaker Die on there.
I don't remember that one.
Man, it's so good. And Rest in Peace. They have a song called Rest in Peace.
I remember that. That
was one of the singles. But there's a song called Warheads, and the whole thing is like a political record. And it's so funny listening to it now. I'm like, oh my God, the first song is called Warheads. And it's kind of like comparing warheads to shitheads. It's like, warheads are like, I'm a warhead, she's a warhead. And so the whole thing is like kind of a statement about how militarized the United States has become, and how we've been turned into this like warmongering society.
Mm-hmm.
And like listening to it now, it just hit me so much harder, because I was like, wow, this is not only is the fucking musicianship insane. Like, I think honestly, that's like, Porno Graffiti is fantastic, but I think that was like almost like their peak.
Yeah.
On as far as like major labels go, their major label records. And then listening to Nuno talk on Rick Beato about their influences, and listening to the Extreme 3 now, the Queen influence is so
it is
like audible to me now. And he talked about how Gary and him met each other because or like the reason they vibed so well is when they first met, they were talking about Queen, and he's like, Queen 2, best Queen record. He's like, oh, and they both love Queen 2.
Nice.
And so it was like, it was interesting, man. Listening to him talk made me go back and listen to like old Queen and even old Aerosmith. Like, I didn't realize how great of an album Rocks is.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it's like, that's the thing I love about these interviews too, is it's like forcing me to go back. Like, I messaged you the other day because I was watching who was talking about Priest. I was watching someone was
it's the guy from Type O Negative, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kenny Hickey from Type O Negative was talking about Priest, like the old Priest records, and that made me go, fuck, I need to go listen to old Priest records. And so I went back and listened to, you know, British Steel and like a couple of the ones that you recommended. And it's like, it's crazy. Like with Maiden, I came to Maiden so much later. Like when I was a kid, you know, I listened to Metallica and Pantera and all that stuff, but I didn't get Maiden until later in life. And now they're one of my absolute favorite bands, of course. But
well, going back to the Extreme side of things, is, you know, I think about Extreme as a band and how great they were, as, you know, and how I wouldn't say they were underrated, but they were underappreciated.
Totally.
And I mean, I think back to, I remember seeing Gary Cherone live with Van Halen when he took over.
Yeah.
And dude, that album is such, Gary Cherone makes that album. It's great. I mean,
he's awesome.
It got trashed.
Yeah.
His voice is so amazing.